Welcome back, everyone, to the Edge Unlock Summit. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce our next speaker, Jayna Elizabeth Swan. Jayna is dedicated to helping successful women in business slow down, regulate their emotions, and find deeper fulfillment, both at work and at home. Her unique approach accelerates your ability to grasp life's lessons so that you can make better decisions faster and show up more fully for the people who matter most. Today, she'll be sharing how you can cultivate healthy emotional regulation and strategically leverage both masculine and feminine energies for powerful business growth and personal alignment. Welcome, Jayna.
Thank you, Deb. I appreciate you having me here. I cannot wait to share this gold information with everybody.
Awesome. I can't wait to learn. You talk about slowing down to speed up.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. So you emphasize helping wealthy women in business slow down so that they can be more present to their families. Can you share how taking that pause actually leads to greater momentum and impact in business?
Absolutely. Impact's the one thing we're all looking to have in business, right? And impact is kind of like hitting the target. So if you can imagine, it's kind of like having two archers, both pointed at a target the same distance away, and they both have unlimited arrows. One archer is fast as lightning, picking up the next one, shooting, picking up, shooting, picking up, shooting. They're taking as many shots as possible. And that's what we do in business a lot of times because we think if I just keep going, I'm going to hit that target, right? And it's that push, push, push mentality. Then you look at the other archer who slowly bends down, picks the right one, brings it up, grounds themselves, pulls that bow back, pauses. They take a nice deep breath and they let go. And what do? They hit the target the first time because
Mm.
they took time to slow down, to pause, to breathe, and to find clarity and set an intention before taking that shot. That's what I like to teach people is there is a different way of doing business. And we're always taught shoot the arrow, shoot the arrow, shoot the arrow, just keep going, truck through. And I truly believe that if we slow down and make sure we have the right arrow and that we set our intention and ground ourselves, we're going to have such better results. So slowing down is speeding up.
Wow. I like that. I'm more of the one that's go, go, go.
Yeah. Hey, me too. I teach this because I needed it for myself. So I'm not
Yeah.
preaching to the choir.
So I'm anxious to learn more. So you
Yeah.
talk about the emotional regulation. So many entrepreneurs struggle with stress or overwhelm. What does healthy emotional regulation look like? And why is it such a game changer for both personal well-being and business success?
Yes. This has been life altering for me, and it's been about a 10-year process to really develop this formula that I have for healthy emotional regulation. And it took me stopping and pausing myself and looking backwards and saying, I have experienced depression before and in really tough days. What was I not doing that I was doing on the days when I'm like really good? And so I started to find the patterns and I found 5 M's. I moved my body. I meditated. I was mindful, or I was in this version of mindful is to be mindful, like literally as in learning something new every day. Then manifestation, I was speaking my future into the world now through affirmations, through telling people about where I'm going. It was very future focused. And the last one is more. And for me, more is self celebration. It's about finding the wins in every single day versus waiting until the finish line to celebrate. So, what that actually looks like in your day to day would be get up and go for a walk in the morning, 20 or 30 minutes, pop a headphone in and listen to a podcast. Now you're moving your body and you're doing mindfulness because you're learning something. Then you come home and you sit down for about 10 or 15 minutes, you meditate. Maybe you do a quick visualization where you visualize your future. You stand up, you do some affirmations, and then you celebrate the fact that you just did that morning routine and poured into you for the first hour or hour and a half of your morning. It could even be just 10 minutes, right? It could be like a couple minutes of each of these, move your body, do this. But I'll find that you putting yourself first by doing the 5 M's will leave you in a healthy emotional regulation stage of life all the time. And then you find when the hard things come up, those unexpected moments, you're not reacting, you're responding.
Yeah, I like that. And I like where you celebrate. that you just accomplished doing the moving and the
Yeah.
manifesting, and I mean that you accomplished that.
Yeah.
So starting with that right away, that'll really set off your day, you know.
Yeah. 100%.
So I
Yeah.
like that. If I can
I'm glad you
remember the
do.
5 M's now: move,
Yes.
manifest, mindfulness,
Yep.
and meditation, and more.
Yes. That's all five.
All right, I
Look
got
at
them.
you. I'm glad I made them all M's there. You just start
I
randomly
know.
saying
I
M
like
words. You'll get them.
that. I should be able to remember 5 M's. That would be good. So
Good.
I
I'm
hope
glad.
our audience wrote those down. Yeah. Well, you talk about finding the lesson faster. You mentioned helping clients find the lesson faster. Can you walk us through how recognizing life's lessons and integrating them quickly can fuel consistent growth and resilience?
Yes. So the reason we want to find this faster is because it breaks the loop, right? Imagine you have an animal, unfortunately, had been caged for a long time, and then the zookeeper or whoever it is goes and just opens the door. Well, the lesson is there. The animal could very well just go through the door, but they haven't learned the lesson, so they just keep pacing around inside. Even the door's open. The lesson is always there for us, but we have to actually find it. We have to seek it. We have to want that lesson because a lot of times we continue the blame game. And as long as we continue to point the finger and blame someone else, we're shifting that responsibility, which means we're simply giving our power away. So the way that we take our power back is take the blame back. Blame yourself. Take responsibility for wherever you are in life right now. And then if you keep the lesson, you can release the emotion because the anger is just an indicator that something is important to you,
Mhm.
right? The anxiety just means it means something to you. It's just trying to bring your attention to something. So once you find the lesson, you can release the emotions and you can then choose to change the pattern and the behavior. So I like to help people find those lessons faster so they get results faster because most people want fast results. And so there's a juxtaposition to this all. Slow down to speed up, right? But we want fast results, but it all comes down to the work we're willing to put in day to day.
Yeah, we all want faster results.
Yes. In this world, especially.
Yeah, and things seem to be moving faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
So it's hard to keep up. So I like that, just, you know, I like, and then it goes back to that slowing down to speed up again.
Exactly. Because
Yeah,
then
I
if you
like that.
pause and then you find the lesson, you're going to speed up because you're not going to keep like having the same loop over and over and over. And so that is, again, how we slow down to speed up.
Awesome. Well, you talk about masculine versus feminine energies. In
Yes.
your work, you highlight the differences between using masculine and feminine energy in business. Could you outline these differences and share practical ways to blend both for optimal results?
Yes, this is my favorite conversation, partly because it's apparently super controversial because people don't like the terms masculine and feminine. A lot of people have associations, masculine, male, feminine, female. Be very clear, it's not that. Sometimes I use the words yin and yang, and other times I will talk about the elements, fire, water, earth, air, because that seems to be more understandable. But sticking with the terms masculine and feminine to keep clarity,
Mhm.
masculine tends to be a little more logical, while the feminine is a little more emotional, right? You can see how that can happen. They're
Yeah.
basically just two ends of a spectrum. One end with the masculine, they're a little more analytical, like strategy and systems and structure. And then we've got more creative on the feminine side, where they're a little bit more wild and like variety of things, right? Then we have the masculine tends to be more traditional and the feminine is more innovative. They want to always try something new. Well, what if this and what if that, right?
Yeah.
Then you've got the masculine tends to focus either on the past, what happened last year and how we can predict, or where are we going in the future. The
Mhm.
feminine is present. It is in the moment. And the last thing that draws it to, and there is no good or bad with any of this, right, is that the masculine tends to be driven by or motivated by fear, and the feminine is driven by or motivated by love, right? And so there's no good or bad to any of it. And the wonderful, beautiful part about us humans is we're all a little bit of all of it. And it's like it's very determined on where and when. So in business, especially in the world we are now, right? We're all entrepreneurs here, business owners.
Mhm.
And with the territory of social media, we are expected to create content. Whether it's just sitting down once a week with your content team to record something, you still are expected to create content in some way. And I'll tell you that content creation is one of those beautiful things that requires an equal balance of both masculine and feminine energy. So on the masculine side, that's where the strategy comes in. That's the what time do I post? Who is my audience? What messaging do they need? What pain points? What's the call to action, right? That's our strategy and systems. Okay. And
Yeah,
on the flip side, you have the feminine is the one that shows up on camera. One that has to be fully present, has to actually communicate, has to be in flow, and has to allow themselves to just have fun with the video because energy translates through video.
yeah.
So that's a good balance to start working on and focusing on in your business. Like, how do you show up for your content? I find a lot of times people who struggle with content, they're actually coming from the masculine side the whole time. Is that they are structuring and they have like the perfect plan. Like they have a strategy that could go viral for days. But the moment they sit down in front of the camera, they're working under pressure, right? And they're thinking about, I got to check this box and I got to check that box and I need to do all these things, right?
Yeah.
Versus when you're in the feminine, you're coming from a playful state. So you go from pressure to play. And now you're like, I just gotta have fun. I just gotta be here. I just need to be present with the people who are watching me, whether it's 10 years from now, 10 minutes from now, but they're going to be watching you. Be present with them. And
Mhm.
so, in your business, to really bring more efficiency and to utilize the masculine feminine to your best ability, the one true example I'm going to give you is this content creation, is make sure these two things are done separately. So, when you're strategizing, just block time to strategize, whether that's once a week or once a month. And when you're shooting, if you block shoot and you shoot everything for the next month, like just make sure that's all you're doing that day because then it helps you stay in that playful state because it's the problem is people try and write the content and then record the content in one session. It's very hard to get your brain to switch back and forth. So I'm hoping that these tips help you guys with content creation because I know that's definitely something that we all want to get better at.
Definitely. Well, thank you. That was very helpful. Like, a lot of great insights
Welcome.
there. And I can resonate with all of
Yeah,
that.
it's such a big conversation. And the more I have this conversation about the masculine and feminine in business, the more people are asking questions and want me to talk about it. I'm really excited. And I'm hoping
Yeah.
more people talk about it because it's
Yeah.
true. We are in a world that's shifting from the old school masculine ways of doing business where it's all about call, 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 chase, 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 sell everybody until they buy it. Even if they say no, it's just a maybe later. It's like, no, we are in a world now where people want attraction marketing. They want you to come from a place of, I care for you and I'm having fun. Come join me,
Mhm.
right? A place of client experience where we go out of our way to make sure they have the absolute best experience so that it's not about us asking them to come back. It's about them begging to come back, right? That's the difference between utilizing the masculine and feminine in business. So every time you sit down to write an email, ask yourself, am I writing this email out of fear or out of love?
Hmm.
And that is going to translate in your messaging. And that's going to shift and change how your clients are coming to you, where they're coming to you from. I've been watching you for 2 years and read every email, and I finally can afford you and I want to pay in full. It's like, that's what we want. So
Yeah.
it's not about that one piece of content doing well. It's about remembering the nurturing process of every client and just play the long game and lead with love.
I like that. I like the way you explained that. And you explained it in a way that I'll remember it. I'll
Oh,
probably
good.
never forget it. So thank you.
Oh, I'm wonderful.
Yeah, that's really nice. How do you coach high performing women to maintain emotional presence with family and loved ones while still pursuing their ambitious business goals?
Yes, this is another one of those like, how do you find balance? You don't. Balance does not exist, right? So what I do is I take them to an extreme. And how I do that is I like to bring my women to a women's retreat, and in that I give them a lot of space so that they can find clarity. Because my job is simply to help them get really clear on what their values are in life and where they're headed, right? And so I never tell anyone what to do or where to do it or any of that. It's really just asking questions about where do you want to go? Who do you want to become? What does she look like? How does she, where does she hang out? What does she sound like? Okay, cool. So these current behaviors that you're having don't reflect what you just told me that you're becoming. And so all I do is help show them that, right? Because what happens is women in business, we start into business for many different reasons. I'm going to make a big assumption here. Most women in business, 4 out of 10 businesses are women run, and most of them have kids. I might not have kids, but most do.
Yeah.
Many women start it so that they can build a legacy for their kids, so they can get out of struggle, or they're a single mom and it's the only thing paying the bills. So
Mhm.
you do it for the kids, but then we get lost in the process. And then we forget that it's just the means to the end. And we start to focus on it and think that the business and the achievements are the end. But no, we started the achievements for our family. Don't forget about the family, right? So my job is just to bring them back to, yes, $1 million this year versus 750 would be great, wouldn't it? But wouldn't another 10 days with your child be so much more valuable?
Mhm.
And it's like when you put it that way, like, yeah, I'll sacrifice $250,000 for 10 days with my child. When you look at the statistics of how long you actually get with your children,
Yeah, it's not very long.
yes. And so that's a big thing for me. And I want to make sure that all these moms know that it's okay to take a little time away from them because it'll compound when you go back and you've got more focus. So it's really just about giving them the space and clarity they won't give themselves.
Mhm.
So I just get them to show up. I'm like, just show up, just show up.
I like that. Well, could you share a success story or example of how regulating emotions and balancing energies led to a noticeable improvement in profit or productivity or time freedom?
Yes, I have so many good stories. And so at the top, the highest level of work that I get to do with men and women really is called a breakthrough session. I spend 12 hours, a full day with you, and we reprogram your subconscious mind because all of our behaviors stem from that. So I do these sessions with people and then do 6 months of follow up. But they don't always need the 6 month of follow up. That's really just to continue to make sure the patterns stick. So some of the fun stories that I've had are I had a woman come in and did a breakthrough session, and 4 days later had an extra $20,000 in her bank account. And I was like, and it was funny because at the last part of the session, we set future goals. And one of them was to make $20,000 in the next 30 days. And she did it in 4. And I was like, oh, awesome. So that was really cool. And then I had another girl, she came in with her coaching business. She had only made $3,000 the month prior. We did our breakthrough session, and within the next 30 days, she made 30 grand in her business. So, like, to literally go from 3 to 30, her mindset was what took her there. It wasn't that she had all these new leads, like, the leads were right there. She just couldn't see them because she
Mhm.
was seeing them through her limiting beliefs. So, she wasn't reaching out or talking to them in the way she needed. So, she shows up different, and they're like, whoa, you're different. What changed? And that's when they started signing up. And I think my most interesting and me, my proudest moment, because they didn't even recognize the win. I'm speaking to a client and she's telling me how disappointed she is. I'm so disappointed, Jayna. I'm like, why is that? What's happening? She said, I made just as much this year as I did last year. I didn't make any extra money. And I'm like, really? Like exactly the same amount? She goes, yeah. I go, okay, what else? What's different? She goes, I mean, I did travel more and I didn't work as much, but I only made the same amount. And I'm like, wait, pause. So you're telling me you didn't lose any money from last year to this year and you got to travel 70% more and you got to and you got to work a lot less. And she's like, "Yes, actually, oh wait." And she realized in that moment that she actually did make more money because she was working less.
Yeah.
Fast forward a couple months, and just on a recent call, she chose to let go of a employee or a contractor of hers. And this was someone she was giving a lot of work to and she felt was critical in her business. So she's a little bit up emotional about it, and I'm like calming her. I'm like, it's gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. It's all good. Like, let's just see what happens. Well, she lets the person go, and then on our next call, literally a week later, she was like, hey, Jayna, so nothing changed in my business. I let someone go. She was paranoid that she was gonna like
Yeah.
everything was gonna crumble. Nothing happened. So
Nothing
all that
happened.
to say, yeah, we tell ourselves stories all the time that are not true.
Yeah.
And you have wins and celebrations that you should be having all around you all the time. But we get so stuck in where we're trying to go that you're not recognizing the wins that are happening right now. So stop and really look at it. Have you worked less this year? Does it matter that you didn't make as much money? If you got to spend more time with your kids, if you actually made it to all of the baseball games this season, right? These are the things that are actually important in our lives. And if you can bring yourself back to that point, those are the real wins. So I did like throw in financial wins, but at the same time, like I have countless dozens of other wins where it's just I have more time with my kids. I have more clarity. It's easier for me to say no to booking that call during me time because it's blocked off my schedule the way that you told me to block it off my schedule. It's like, yeah, don't wait for me time to filter in. Put it
Yeah.
first. So
Yeah.
these are the wins. These are the things that I'm so proud to be able to help people with because at the end of the day, I didn't do anything. I just asked good questions and they did all the work. And so it's not me. I'm just there to guide people through the process and make it a little bit clearer.
And then to see things in them that they can't see themselves.
100%.
Yeah. I
That's
like
probably my
what,
biggest gift.
yeah. What are some simple, actionable tools or routines you recommend for entrepreneurs who want to start strengthening their emotional regulation today?
Yes. So the number one thing I tell each and every person in business, period, you should be weightlifting 3 to 5 days a week. Because if you strengthen your physical body, your mental and emotional bodies will both strengthen as well. Because if you can face discomfort 3 to 5 times every single week, the other things you face during the day aren't as difficult because you're getting used to being uncomfortable. So, weight training by far is something that will help to strengthen your emotional resilience and your mental fortitude. So, would recommend that. It doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to like crazy lift all these things, but just move your body and add extra weight. Like, think about I'm putting my suitcase luggage above my head, putting my suitcase luggage above my head, like just all the good that I'm lifting my drink. I'm like, whatever you got to do to get you to like do this, but move your body. And to tag onto that, one of my favorite audio playlists to listen to on the way to the gym to like prime my mind and get myself in a good space is on YouTube. It's called Impact Quotes. It's by Tom Bilyeu, and he has Impact Theory, but Impact Quotes is he just goes on freestyling about how powerful your mind is and how amazing you are and how like all these things that like boost you up and it's got like superhero music behind it. So I just drive to the gym listening to that and I just think about my workout and it gets me boosted and it helps my mindset get right because your mind has to be right before you walk in the gym so that you can actually get the most. But if lifting, I know it's not something for everybody. I know there's people with different things that they can't actually do that. So here's an even easier one. Journal. Journal every single day. There's a lot of research about handwriting, journaling, and the wiring and how it directly connects to your brain. So, like
Mhm.
if you're journaling ideas for business, handwrite those and you'll remember them better than if you type them. It's just all sorts of things. And I know that when I say journaling, some people get all clammy because they're like, I just see a blank page. What do I do? Like, what, Jayna, what do I write about?
Yeah.
So, I have an app that I will share more details on towards the end. That in the app, there are over 18 journal prompts that you can go in and you can pick one out and you can journal it and then you can submit it and it'll email it back to you so you have a digital journal. You can also just take the question, write it down on your page and handwrite it and then do it that way. But I know journaling is powerful. One of the most powerful prompts I have ever used for myself and use on a regular basis is writing 10 different things that follow I am worthy of.
Hmm.
And then I fill in the blank 10 different times. Sometimes I tell people five or three or whatever fits them, right? But just writing that a couple times a day, like I am worthy of being on the entrepreneurial edge summit. Like I am worthy of having a podcast. I'm worthy of having clients that love working with me. Like just going through those things every day will rewire your mind. So work out or journal. Those are my two things for you. They're both super simple things you can add into your calendar that are going to make a huge difference for you.
I like that. And even I like that you talked about the I'm worthy of. So even if you could just write 5 or 10 things of what you're worthy of, I think that'll definitely build your confidence. And
100%.
you probably should do that just before you go do working out. So then that way, that way you'll feel more confident to lift those weights or
Yes.
whatever it is. Maybe it's an appointment or something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be lift weights. It could be going out and do something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone.
100%.
So yeah, I like that. I like that. Those are some great insights. Um, some high achieving women might resist slowing down or fear losing their edge. What would you say to someone who worries that stepping back could stall their progress or hurt their bottom line?
Yeah, I would say the same exact thing that I would tell someone who comes to me and tells me they want to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks. And
Hmm.
I would say one salad isn't going to make you lose a bunch of weight, just like one cheat meal isn't going to make you gain a bunch of weight. Right. So, what I mean by that is slowing down a little bit isn't going to ruin all your progress. Because oftentimes in fitness, if you know anything about how the body works, if we maintain the same thing all the time and then you have a cheat meal that boosts it up, you actually can boost your metabolism, drop more fat, lose weight. That's why women who this is another assumption, want to lose the extra 10 pounds before a vacation. They'll spend a couple months and they're like doing all the things, trying to lose it, and it's just not budging because
Hmm.
they're stressed out. Because they're like, I gotta lose the weight. I gotta look good in a bikini. I'm gonna be on this cruise. I'm gonna like, and that's all they're worried about. Then they go on vacation and they end up losing weight on vacation. And it's like, wait, how did that happen? It's because you were present, you were having fun, you were stress free, and it's the stress that's holding on to the weight. So with business, taking time to actually slow down, get clear is almost like pulling a rubber band back on a slingshot. And then when you let go, you have so much motivation and fuel that you're going to work even better. Because when we get to the point to where you don't want to wait till burnout, right? That's at that point, your body is going to get sick or you're going to get injured or have something else. Don't wait till you're in burnout. Just schedule the me time now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not asking for much. Make yourself a bubble bath. Get one massage on the calendar a month. Get a facial plan. You don't even have to pay anything. Take a bar of chocolate, take one piece, and just slowly savor that piece of dark chocolate for as long as humanly possible. These are the things your body needs to feel safe, right? And the more we can give our body that level of safety, the more it will relax. The more you can relax, the less your mind is going to be worried about what's going to slip, what we're going to lose, what overhead, what ROI. Like, that's all here. That's all thinking. That's all in your mind, which is great. We really need that a lot in business. But we also need our heart. So sometimes if you hear yourself saying, I think I'm going to lose money, I think that that's a bad idea, move into the I know, right? I know and I feel because that's your heart. And it's like, well, I think that I might lose clients if I take 2 weeks off work to go on this vacation, but I know I'm really going to enjoy having that time with my kids and that I can make up for that in the future,
Mhm.
right? So from I think to I know, I think these are the best ways because slowing down is speeding up. I don't know how many times I could say that in this, but I hope you're convinced by the end of this that taking a
Oh,
few
I'm
extra
already
hours,
convinced.
you're like, I'm scheduling in my my off time now because
Yes.
it's like it's so powerful. Just reduce the stress, and your stress gets reduced by just sitting outside in the patio in the sun and just sitting,
Hmm.
listen to the birds, maybe read a book, let the sun just hit you. Like, it's okay. You're human. We were meant to be a human being, not a human doing. So definitely spend more time being, and you will be more regulated for sure.
I like that. I can really hear and see your passion and your energy and everything. So when you think about your why, what is your why behind what you do, your work that you do? What is your why? Why do you
Yeah.
do it?
My Oh man, that's big. So I decided a long time ago that kids are not for me. I'm not going to have them in this lifetime, and it's totally fine.
Hmm.
I am in a wonderful situation where my partner's 27 years older than me, so he has a daughter and she had a daughter. I've been with them for 10 years. So I have a granddaughter who's 7. So I do kind of get that a little bit, but I never had kids of my own. So for me, it's extremely important to give back. I am not the type that like can have an aha or epiphany with myself and not share it with the world. I always want to share it and help others. So I truly have a deep passion for helping parents. And I've always wanted to help kids, but I am not like I'm not going to write a kid's book or that's not my thing. So I know that by helping the parents, I am helping the kids. So
Sure.
I sat back and was like, okay, what's the best way for me to help the next generation? And we have a lot of people going into business, a lot of new families, new people who've never had parents or anyone. They're figuring it out. And it's a lot of new stress when you're trying to figure it out and you don't have like an MBA or a friend or a mentor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing that I continue to see over and over were that stressed out parents would just pop and react at their kids. And the kid wasn't doing anything wrong. The kid
Mhm.
didn't deserve that. In
Yeah.
fact, I've had a lot of different sessions with adults where these moments of I I don't necessarily want to call it trauma, but everybody labels things differently. So it could be trauma for one person and it could just be a bad moment for another, right? But I
Mhm.
have adults who come to me with these old memories from their past. So if I can just help prevent these from even happening, then I feel like we can help generationally.
Right.
Because if I can help one parent now not explode at their kid and be softer and gentler and actually bend down and go, yes, baby, what was that? You
Mhm.
know, mommy's on a call right now. Like whatever that needs to be, then that child is more likely to do that with their children. So
Mhm.
this is how we actually impact the world, is that we help the mothers because the mothers are directly impacting the children, which are our next generation.
Mhm.
So I sacrificed having my own kids so that I could help other adults be in the right head and heart space so that they could properly raise their kids. And I'm a proud super aunt to many, many, many little babies, including all my friends of kids and everyone around me. And I'm the super aunt to all of them. So I love what I get to do in this world, and my impact comes from a deep place because I've gone through a lot of pain. It's very brief, but my story, I've had 7 surgeries on my vulva across a 10-year period of time, and it
Wow.
was excruciating. And long story short, very long story short, I had one doctor who actually fixed me towards the end, and he told me one thing. If you don't get the root of the problem, the symptoms will persist.
Mhm.
And so that has transpired and followed me through all areas of life. It's the foundation of what I teach with my clients and everything that I ever do. But specifically with this, is that if I don't get to the root of the emotional pain of the parent, I can't stop the outbreaks. I can't help the
Mhm.
children. But if I can get to the root of it, it's not just about stopping one outbreak, it's that parent never doing that again. That's something to me that is worth putting time, effort, energy, and money into investing into.
Yeah, and that's quite an impact and having that ripple effect. I mean, you don't know how many generations you're
Yeah.
helping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, so how can the members and anybody watching in the audience connect with you and learn more about your work or get in touch with you?
Yes. So I teased earlier, I have an app. It's called Healthy Emotional Regulation, and you can go to herapp.online to get that on the App Store. And if you happen to be one of our Android users, I do have a web-based version. Just find me on Instagram at jayna.swan, and I'm happy to send you that direct link and help you get that set up as well. That way everybody can have access. It's completely free. It has a ton of meditations. I just uploaded 8 more. So there's 18 meditations, like 18 journal prompts. There's a ton of affirmations. There's, all sorts of things. Resources, books, like, YouTube channels I really think you should listen to, like documentaries, all the things. Everything I use to heal myself is basically in this app for you guys to have free access to because I'm a big giver. So I want to make sure you
Well,
have
thank
everything you
you.
need.
That's so generous of you. And thank you. Thank you for supplying that. And we'll have the link here on the page.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for having that on there.
You're welcome.
Um, well, Jayna, thank you so much for sharing your invaluable insights on emotional regulation and the art of harmonizing masculine and feminine energies. I learned something there. Your wisdom shows us that a thriving business can coexist with authentic presence and inner peace, a true recipe for sustainable success. For those of you tuning in, be sure to connect with Jayna either on Instagram or check out her app that we'll have the link for here on the page to explore more ways that you can cultivate a healthier inner state and expand your impact without sacrificing what matters most. Thank you again, Jayna, for being part of our Edge Unlock Summit. And I just really, really enjoyed our conversation today.
Thank you. I did too. Appreciate you inviting me to be here.
Thank you.